Relationships being overhyped. Relationships, it seems, might be somewhat overhyped, and there's a belief that women, in general, are held in high regard. However, there's a perspective that questions whether women truly bring substantial value to men's lives. Some individuals see men as assets in relationships, while viewing women as potential liabilities. Of course, there are exceptions, and not all women are seen this way. But there's a notion that many women possess a skill for concealing their true intentions behind a facade of sweetness and loyalty. Therefore, if you do decide to commit or get married, the advice is to take it slow, have an extended engagement, and pay close attention to your partner's behavior. Any signs of deceit or disloyalty should be taken seriously. The trend of more and more men opting out of traditional relationships continues to gain momentum. For those who still desire a classic family structure, exploring international options becomes an appealing prospect. While it's possible to find that rare gem of a woman in the Western world, the odds are somewhat akin to winning the lottery. Moreover, the risks associated with Western women have become increasingly daunting. Western society and culture have tilted the scales in favor of women, making the traditional role of provider less rewarding. As the more one invests, the more they stand to lose in the end. These women often fail to grasp the essence of a traditional marriage and may not be considered suitable life partners. This issue transcends individual preferences. It's about the survival of our society. Men must do more than simply withdraw from dating and marriage. We need to contemplate the purpose of our lives and what God expects from us, and explore alternative paths in this complex and self-centered world. We should start valuing our time more and refrain from defining our worth solely by material possessions. Time is our most precious asset. It's perplexing why so many men willingly take on demanding jobs. Hopefully, more men will soon recognize the wisdom of working less to afford a modest apartment, granting them more free time. Few things bring greater happiness than pursuing one's passions and dedicating as much free time as possible to them. Fortunately, in recent years, I've felt less and less inclination for a romantic relationship, and I'm content with solitude. I believe many men share this sentiment in today's world. Women have become undateable. The reality is that contemporary American women are increasingly seen as less suitable for dating and marriage due to perceived issues like being unapproachable, demanding, and entitled. Consequently, more men are opting for single lives, avoiding the potential financial risks and relationship drama associated with women. Notably, a growing number of men between the ages of 18 and 29 are either not dating, not in a relationship, or are actively avoiding such commitments. Predictions also suggest that by 2030, a significant portion of American working women between 25 and 45 will likely be single, childless, and without a partner. Many attribute these shifts in dating and marriage dynamics to the influence of feminism. To delve deeper into this, it's crucial to understand that traditional marriage, which was often sought as a long-term commitment rather than casual hookups, can sometimes resemble what psychologists call Stockholm Syndrome. This syndrome is characterized by feelings of trust or affection that hostages develop towards their captors. In the context of marriage, this analogy suggests that the husband, often seen as the groom, entrusts his financial resources to his wife, the captor in this analogy. Historically, it was common for husbands to earn money, while wives managed household spending decisions, often making up to 80% of them. The question arises, why would men agree to this arrangement? It's suggested that men, driven by emotions like love, entered into marriages where women primarily sought financial stability and resources. Essentially, this was viewed as a business decision. Over time, however, confidence grew among women, partly due to the influence of feminism, leading them to believe that they no longer needed men, akin to how a fish doesn't need a bicycle. As this mindset took hold, many women decided to end marriages, effectively setting their victims free. This often occurred through divorce or by selecting partners from the top 10% of men in terms of perceived value while rejecting the remaining 90%. Liberated from these relationships, some women embraced their newfound independence. However, it takes time for individuals to break free from emotional dependency. Men are breaking free. Today, we are witnessing a new generation of young men who are increasingly unburdened by this dependency and are choosing not to pursue relationships with women. This shift challenges traditional gender roles and societal expectations. It also highlights the unintended consequences of altering relationship dynamics, as captors can only exist if they have victims. In this evolving landscape, both men and women are reconsidering their roles and relationships. Regrettably, women seem to be moving towards a more traditional, feminine stance, luring back misguided men into unhealthy relationships. Will men willingly return to the trap of emotional dependence for the sake of nostalgic intimacy? Or perhaps not. Men are growing weary of constant rejection, bearing the bulk of the relationship effort, and lacking respectful partners in their lives. They're tired of being treated as disposable commodities. The list goes on. Men are beginning to realize that chasing after women is a futile endeavor. Instead, they are opting to pursue excellence and carve their own paths. Even when they express interest, women often expect men to do all the heavy lifting, which is both exhausting and increasingly unpalatable. In many cases, women feign disinterest until a man withdraws, only to reveal their genuine feelings. It's wiser to conserve your limited energy for pursuing meaningful goals. If you find success in your endeavors, women will likely be drawn to your accomplishments naturally. There's no need to waste time and effort trying to win their attention. Are relationships worth it? Consider this. What's the likely outcome, even if a woman agrees to a relationship after you've diligently pursued her? Instead of engaging in the energy-draining chase, it's more effective to express your interest and then move on if she doesn't reciprocate. Despite the initial challenge, the best course of action is to avoid participating in these psychological games and deciphering confusing signals. Allow me to elucidate why men are increasingly avoiding the dating scene today. Unfortunately, it's evident that society tends to view men as a means to an end. Men are predominantly judged by their achievements, while women are often evaluated based on their physical appearance. Men often face a set of seemingly arbitrary standards in the dating arena. They're expected to check various boxes: have a high-paying job, a desirable physique, a home, and more. In contrast, women might only need to meet a minimum attractiveness threshold for some men to express romantic interest, even if their overall rating might be considered modest. The reality is that being the kind of man who appeals to both women for intimacy and earns the respect of other men can be an incredibly challenging task. This challenge has led many men to become disillusioned with the dating scene. And that's it for today on Sigma Traits. Make sure you hit that like button, smash that subscribe button, and don't forget to ring that notification bell so you can be the first to know when my new video drops. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. See you all tomorrow.